Part 1. The weight of a sentence. What does not kill me makes me stronger. At first glance, the statement feels bold, defiant, stoic. It conjures images of strength forged through hardship, heroes rising from failure, the phoenix from the flames, the warrior marked by scars but unbowed. We nod in agreement. We even feel empowered. But have we truly understood it? The originator of this aphorism, Friedrich Nietzsche, was not in the business of writing motivational posters. He was a diagnostician of the human soul, a philosopher with the heart of a poet and the mind of a prophet. To read him lightly is to miss him entirely. For Nietzsche, every sentence was a provocation, an invitation not to agree, but to confront. Let's begin with the context. The phrase comes from Twilight of the Idols, one of Nietzsche's last completed works before his mental collapse in 1889. The book is subtitled How to Philosophize with a Hammer, a phrase that suggests both destruction and delicacy. Not the hammer of brute force, but the refined tap of a critic testing the hollowness of modern ideas. Nietzsche's aim was to challenge the idols of his age: Christianity, morality, reason, democracy, even truth itself. The sentence, "What does not kill me makes me stronger," appears in a section called Maxims and Arrows. These are not discursive arguments, they are explosive devices, short, sharp, and meant to detonate in the mind. They pierce through our defenses. They bypass reason and go straight to the marrow. But to truly understand this aphorism, we must resist the temptation to nod and move on. We must sit with it, turn it over, explore its layers. Because Nietzsche is not offering comfort. He is offering a test, a philosophy of the forge. Nietzsche's entire philosophy revolves around a central theme: becoming. He believed that life was not a thing to be preserved, but a force to be expanded. Not a static possession, but a dynamic process. A becoming of what one is. This process is not linear. It is not easy. It involves chaos, rupture, contradiction. It demands that we pass through the fire, that we be broken, and that we respond not with retreat, but with transformation. To become stronger, then, is not merely to recover. It is to transfigure. For Nietzsche, the self is not given. It is made. And it is made through conflict. With the world, with others, and most deeply, with oneself. This is not a popular message in a culture obsessed with safety, comfort, and affirmation. Nietzsche dares to ask, what if safety weakens us? What if comfort dulls us? What if it is precisely through discomfort that we grow? And so, the aphorism takes on a deeper tone. It is no longer a feel-good motto. It is a summons to self-overcoming. But this process is not guaranteed. Not everyone who suffers becomes stronger. Some are shattered. Some never recover. Nietzsche knew this all too well. He was not idealizing pain. He was not preaching resilience without cost. He was saying something much harder. That suffering has potential, but only for those who can metabolize it. Only for those who can convert it into strength. Pain and power. The alchemy of the will. At the heart of Nietzsche's thought lies a concept both radical and elusive: the will to power. This idea has been misinterpreted in countless ways as a call to domination, a justification for violence, a precursor to fascism. But these distortions miss Nietzsche's central insight. The will to power is not primarily about political control. It is about the inner drive of life itself to grow, to expand, to reach beyond what it is. Every living thing, Nietzsche argues, expresses this will, not just in reproduction or survival, but in its drive to become more, to transcend itself. In human beings, this will to power becomes conscious. It becomes art, philosophy, music, poetry. It becomes moral systems and revolutions, but it also becomes repression, denial, guilt, and resentment. The will to power can affirm life, or it can turn inward, corroding from within. Pain is the crucible of this process. It tests the will. It reveals what we are made of. When Nietzsche says, "What does not kill me makes me stronger," he is articulating a vision of life in which power is not control over others, but mastery over one's own becoming. He is pointing to the possibility of turning suffering into strength, not through denial or avoidance, but through confrontation and integration. To grow through suffering is not to escape it. It is to face it, to feel it, to own it, and to emerge with a deeper self. This is a kind of spiritual alchemy. It transforms agony into depth, fear into clarity, despair into resolve. But it demands something rare: courage. Not the courage of battlefields, but the courage to look within, to descend into the underworld of the self, like Nietzsche's Zarathustra, and to return not unchanged, but reborn. The personal cost of a universal truth. It would be easy to think of Nietzsche as a detached thinker, a philosopher crafting theories from the comfort of an armchair. Nothing could be further from the truth. His philosophy was lived intensely, painfully, and at great cost. Nietzsche suffered from chronic illness for most of his adult life. Migraines, visual disturbances, digestive disorders, and unrelenting pain. He spent much of his time in solitude, wandering Europe in search of climates that would relieve his condition. He lost friends, faced ridicule, and lived without steady employment or institutional support. His works were dismissed in his lifetime. And yet, through this suffering, he wrote with fire. He produced works of staggering insight and poetic power. He mined his own torment and turned it into wisdom. He did not transcend suffering, he transfigured it. This is why the aphorism matters, not because it offers easy comfort, but because it asks the hardest question. Who will you become through your pain? Nietzsche's answer is both terrifying and liberating. You may become nothing, or you may become more than you imagined. Suffering is not the path, it is the test. To walk it is to gamble everything. But for Nietzsche, that gamble is the essence of life.